I grew up in a two-parent home, and I went to private school. I stayed in the best neighborhoods.
But still, she became homeless. Now Courtney shares her story of turning her life around. And she ended up homeless, not because of drugs or crime, but family dynamics.
Local 4 Defender Karen Drew explains what went wrong and what this local teen did to make changes for the better.
LaSalle Street in Detroit, an upscale neighborhood. Families dream to live in this community. For Courtney Motley, this was her reality.
I grew up in a two-parent home. I went to private school. I stayed in the best neighborhoods in the city.
But Courtney's security of family would be shattered before she became a teenager.
My mom passed away when I was 12. And so after that, she was the sole provider. And I don't think my dad could handle her death, so he basically vanished after that. It was really interesting, so losing two parents.
Courtney had nowhere to live.
After my mom passed away, everything basically vanished. The house that I grew up in, so everything changed drastically.
The teen briefly stayed with her aunt, but then her aunt became sick. Courtney was homeless.
So going from this well-off kid to being very, very poor and homeless was the biggest challenge ever.
After a while of homelessness, friends would come to the rescue.
The second time I was homeless, I was 19, and I was trying to go to school, but it wasn't working out because I was, again, homeless. So I tried to stay with people, and that didn't work out because eventually people want to help you, but eventually they want you to pay rent and help out with the bills.
Back to the streets and the shelters.
I had researched Covenant House the second time I was homeless. It was a really, really awesome program. It gave me the tools that I needed to be successful.
Covenant House is different because it not only gives people like Courtney food and shelter, but mandatory counseling, help with finding a job, and puts you on a forced savings plan. 70% of what you make is saved.
I trained to become a phlebotomist, and then in July of 2014, I became a phlebotomist, and I was able to get my first car and my first real adult job.
I don't really feel like I'm homeless. I'm just stuck at the moment.
Reagan Gantz is 19. She lives at Covenant House now, but was homeless before after a fallout with her adoptive mother.
It really helped me because I really didn't like to talk to nobody, and that was one of my main problems.
Reagan is doing great, has a job, and has saved enough, so in a few weeks, she'll be able to move into an apartment and take care of herself.
They made me a better person.
We thank you for this day that you have made.
We went out recently with Stephanie in the Covenant House van looking for the homeless and trying to help.
Still kind of building relationships with them.
We find one young man known to live on the streets, remind him about the Covenant House.
Think you might give it another chance?
Maybe.
On this day, he takes some food and clothes, but not willing to get off the streets. Stephanie says she'll try again with him.
That's one of the reasons why I'm so adamant about coming back and helping and telling people no, this isn't just, hey, the person on the street holding up the sign. This can be anybody.
Courtney has since gotten married, moved to Chicago, but makes time to come back here. Not to her home on LaSalle Street, but to this home, a place that saved her.
It's really interesting going from that time period. I never thought I was going to be able to get out of it, at all. So it's really nice to be on the other side.
Covenant House also operates 3 second chance high schools to obtain a high school diploma. Over 900 youth are enrolled each year. I'm Karen Drew, Local 4 News.